Welcome everybody, we are here in Santa Barbara and we're gonna get an awesome tour of a brand new and very colorful bike shop, BoomBoom Bike Room. So let's go check it out. Okay everybody, we are here with Alex from BoomBoom Bike Room. Show us around the shop.
Rad. Well, this is BoomBoom Bike Room. It's a pretty small shop. So we focus on basically upcycling 90s mountain bikes.
Nice, which are actually gravel bikes, turns out.
Exactly. They're the best bikes around,
yeah.
You know? This is our wall of frames where someone can come grab a frame and build the 90s gravel bike of their dreams.
I mean, I see some sneakers and stuff. Not something that you see in regular bike shops. What's up with that?
Yeah, so we kind of just wanted to embrace the greater culture around cycling in Santa Barbara in more ways than just one. And so with the kind of a wheelie culture, the bike life culture in town, we have a bunch of kids that are into sneakers, and I have a lot of friends that are also into sneakers, so we basically consign sneakers. So we try to kind of bring together different avenues of different cultures that are all wrapped up in cycling.
Yeah.
We had a lot of stuff from some local artists here in town. These prints are done by a friend of ours named Andrew, and it's called Digital Sunsets.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about him is he kind of focuses on the more Chicano staples in our community. Mm-hmm. So he paints a lot of different corner stores. That painting right there is of a pretty famous overpass in Santa Barbara. Just did a collab with our good friends at Bummerland.
Okay, cool.
It's a female-owned company here in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
She does socks.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she's a good friend of ours. She's been a supporter of the shop from the beginning. Then we got some stuff from Doom, our buddies at Doom Bars.
Nice.
He makes rad handmade bars that are stupidly wide. He'll put a little bowl on there so you can smoke out of them if you really want.
So this is where the magic happens?
Yeah, so basically this place was an old restaurant when we took it over.
Okay.
It was a family-owned restaurant that we were actually good friends with the family that owned it. So when they said we could take over this lease, we said, well, let's just keep it as easy as possible for the turnover. So we just painted the walls, threw in some flooring, threw this wacky countertop on here, but basically left the bar. And yeah, we use one of them as a work stand for as much as we can do out here. And then back here is where all the real magic happens.
Nice.
Yeah, it's still got the the kitchen hood. But yeah, we just made it work, we're just owned by me and my wife, so it's not like we have unlimited resources. So when we did open this, we opened it with the intention of just getting in here and just working with what we had.
So tell me about, the first thing I noticed walking in is how bright and vibrant the shop. This doesn't feel like a regular bike shop. What were you going for with
Well, that's the thing. It's we didn't want it to feel like a bike shop.
Yeah.
I've worked in bike shops for years. We've all worked in bike shops for years. And the one thing is we want it to be approachable and fun, and show that cycling can be approachable and fun. And I feel traditional bike shops in a lot of ways are very intimidating. Mm-hmm. They're not the most welcoming environments. Yeah. It's not the kind of place you want. It draws you in, whereas we wanted this place to draw you in from a mile away. So yeah, we just chose a color palette based on The Simpsons, because we're huge Simpsons fans.
Nice.
That's our Simpsons speaker that our buddy made for us. But yeah, we just want it to be fun, as fun as possible.
It definitely feels it has a vibe where even if you weren't into bikes necessarily, it would still kind of pull you in, and you something might catch your eye.
Exactly, that's the idea. It was just make cycling accessible and welcoming. The fact that we're mainly working on bikes that are 30 plus years old with no new bikes in here, I think kind of goes hand in hand with that. You can have a lot of fun on a bike that's not the latest and greatest thing. It doesn't have to be the latest and greatest as long as you're having fun.
Do you guys have any interesting frames up on the hooks right now?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. We actually have been focusing on a lot of Diamondbacks, because come to find out, Diamondbacks in the 90s, they were headquartered in Camarillo, which is just 45 minutes south of us.
Yeah.
So it's really neat. On a lot of these Diamondbacks, on the bottom brackets, you can see a little designed in Camarillo sticker put on them. I'll show you this guy here. This triple triangle Diamondback was a really low-end bike.
Yeah.
That they spec'd back in, I think it was 91, but they didn't make many of these. And so it's a seemingly pretty average looking frame, but the story behind it's really cool, because it's, I think it's one of the only triple triangle bikes that Diamondback ever did. That was really the GT thing.
Yeah.
This Apex is really rad. I love the fact that they, everyone who knows these bikes knows how they painted these, but I think it's so funny that the way they got this this pattern was to get a lighter and just to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So what they would do is they would hit the frames with paint, and then they would take a lighter or like a hemp wick, and they would just literally just smoke it out. And so the smoke actually came from smoke. So that's kind of a neat little thing that I learned that was like, hey, you know, that's pretty neat.
Super cool.
Exactly. So that's another one of our favorite frames. And then, I mean, on this wall up here with the Rottweilers, you have a lot of these, the raised chainstay kind of like. Yeah, so we have like a good example of like, you know, the high end all the way to some whatever low end.
Well, let's, do you want to go out the back and take the mask off and we'll do more talk? What's your mission, or what's a niche that you want to fill with BoomBoom?
We wanted to build it on the fact that it was like a very community-based bike shop, and community and accessibility, I guess, is like the two biggest pillars. I grew up in town and grew up from a pretty working class family, and I discovered cycling like in high school, but it always felt very exclusive, like very unobtainable, you know, especially as someone who doesn't come from money. I wanted to have a shop that kind of emphasized, hey, you can be just as much a part of the cycling community, whether you have the latest and greatest S-Works, whatever mumbo jumbo, or the bike you like pulled out of the rafters in your parents' garage, you know?
Right.
I just wanted people to feel like biking could be theirs, no matter their socioeconomic status.
How long have you had the shop?
So this shop is really new. We opened in April of 2020.
Okay.
One.
How's it been? Has it been received pretty well?
Yeah,
or?
it's been really received really well. The community, we've been able to foster a really cool community around the shop very quickly, and that means the world to me. We have a really big base of support from the community and from people of, you know, all different disciplines of cycling, whether it be, you know, road cycling, mountain biking, or, you know, grinding away on these like old 90s bikes, you know?
Yeah.
And almost created a culture around these bikes themselves.
So speaking of the bikes, you have some really cool frames there. How do you acquire them? Do people drop them off, or do you go yard sale shopping?
So my wife is the one who finds the majority of the bikes. She's always been into like just hunting for just vintage anything.
Right.
Like most of the furniture at our barbershop next door is just stuff we found, you know, going to estate sales, yard sales, just knocking on people's doors. So she's the one who finds most of those bikes.
So she's like the bike frame whisperer.
She is the bike frame whisperer. I mean, it's amazing. She'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna go pick up a frame in, you know, an hour south from here. I don't know anything about it," and we roll up and it's like a pristine, you know, 88 stump jumper or something like that. And it's like, how did you find this? Since we've actually been here, the community's kind of rallied around us in the way where, I mean, Chad, one of our employees, he's riding a stump jumper frame that one of our good customers brought in and said, "Hey, you know, I don't have a use for this. It doesn't fit me. Do you guys want it?"
Right.
And so there we go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you hope the bike shop will become in the future, or, you know, what are your hopes and dreams?
I hope it can remain like a community hub for the greater cycling community in Santa Barbara, and continue to kind of like grow and foster this community of, hey, you know, like it doesn't really matter what you ride, as long as you're riding and having fun. That's what we're about. So,
well, thanks so much for being on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, man.
And you guys, if you find yourselves in Santa Barbara and want to stop by a super unique and colorful bike shop, definitely check out BoomBoom Bike Room. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. You know, you guys have the grams, right? What's your grams?
BoomBoom Bike Room.
Pretty self-explanatory. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, keep the self side down.